The interpretation of inflation as primarily due to selective bottlenecks has struck me as untenable for the last 6 months, and strikes me as approaching absurdity at this point. We currently have, as measured by the vacancy to unemployment rate, the tightest labor markets since the Second World War. All prevailing forecasts call for those labor markets to substantially tighten over the next 3 to 6 months. Already, wage increases in this month's report were running at 7.5% at annual rates, faster over 1 month than over 3, faster over 3 months than over 6, and faster over 6 months than over 12. That broad labor market pattern seems to me to be the antithesis of the bottlenecks in inflation view. No doubt, used car prices will rise less rapidly over the next 12 months than over the last 12 months. But that is not a reason to think that inflation will revert to anywhere near normal levels. I believe it's reasonable to judge the posture of monetary policy if one needs to look at a single statistic. A reasonable single statistic is the 1 year forward real interest rate. It's appropriate to make that judgment relative to an estimate of the neutral real interest rate. As an early proponent of secular stagnation, I am a strong believer that that neutral real interest rate is a low number. Even taking that neutral real interest rate to be negative 0.5%, which seems to me to be, even as a secular stagnation advocate, a very low estimate. You are looking at a real interest rate forward of close to negative 3%, by a substantial margin, the loosest monetary policy that we have ever seen. And so with the loosest monetary policy that we have ever seen, coinciding with the tightest labor market that we have ever seen, coinciding with the loosest financial conditions that we have ever seen, it seems to me that the right prospect is that we are running the economy in an unsustainable way. It is my prediction that we will see increasing discussion of the idea that this is all due to greed, an idea that I believe is not supportable. Calls for price controls, we've already started to see them on the Twitter left, and calls for the acceptance of substantially higher rates of inflation. That we have also seen. All of that will serve to contribute to higher inflation expectations and ultimately lead to more difficulty. If you want to drive your car down the highway and get to your destination as rapidly as possible, there is an optimal speed. If you drive too slow, you do not get there quickly. If you drive too fast, you have an accident or get stopped and you do not get there quickly. The same thing is true with respect to maximizing the average level of employment, the average success of the economy in stimulating investment, the average success of the economy in enfranchising the most disadvantaged people. I believe we are now driving above the speed limit. The central challenge is to achieve a gradual, soft landing, and I believe that will require monetary policy substantially tighter than the Fed or the market now anticipate.